Yeah.
Janine, you got to let us in to start the video.
Okay, not sure how to do that. Let's see.
I don't know how to do it either.
No.
Okay,
Somebody's
hold on. Let's see.
meet Janine.
Not giving me a chance. Hold on. Right, chat, participants.
Wonder if Anne Marie or if Lorraine knows. I'll go ask her. Okay.
Anne Marie's on her way.
Okay.
It's just a matter of, okay, Anne Marie's here as me.
That's interesting.
Well, yeah, I was,
You guys have switched roles here.
hey,
So I think you don't, my video won't turn on.
We're-
okay, and I don't know what I have to do to turn everybody's video on.
Hold on, I think if you go to your participant list
Yes,
and go to the panelists,
yes.
there should be a ... somewhere at the bottom.
Oh, got it, okay.
And then you can allow to start video.
Like everybody on right now should be a panelist.
Okay, you all should be able to start your video now.
Okay. There's Anne.
Okay.
That is not. It may take longer than we anticipated, but it's gonna happen.
Cheryl.
I don't understand why you feel the need to. Kelsey, you know I will never intend.
How you doing, Dr. Marvel?
Over to you.
Hmm.
Said, how you doing, Dr. Long?
Oh, okay.
So he could grab a top.
On here.
Hi, Dr. Marvel.
All right. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Look like you have a seatbelt on, do you?
Yeah, we're traveling in the car, so
Oh.
yeah, I am in the car, so yeah, I have a seatbelt on.
Well, that's good you have your seatbelt on.
I know. At least my husband's driving, so I don't have to worry. Joe's driving, so I don't have to worry about it.
Well, we hope you're not driving and trying to do this call.
Yeah, that would be bad, wouldn't it?
I keep losing my video connection.
Yeah, I'm in the car, so if it drops off, just know I'll call back.
Okay.
If my reception gets bad.
Susan, do you want to? Susan has got herself muted and she hasn't connected video wise. And I don't know why I keep losing.
I unmuted it.
Okay, now we need to get you to put your video on so we can see you.
Well, and I hit start video for that.
There you are.
There you go. It didn't want to do it a while ago.
Now you're here.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it looks like we're all here. I didn't hear anything. Did you by any chance hear anything from anybody else? I did not I called Dr. Cowan. He didn't call me back. Cheryl, do you know if he's going to be participating today or not?
I don't know. I know that Anne Marie sent him the link for Zoom.
Right.
I did.
So
I never heard back from him.
I don't know whether he is able to join or is working or what the deal is. So,
Yeah. I left him a message this morning, so
okay.
he didn't call
Okay.
back. So I don't know. that he was going to be traveling. So.
How are things at the hospital, Cheryl?
Pretty good. We actually, I'm allowed to say that we don't have any patients right now. So we don't have any COVID patients. So that's good. We're doing well at this point. Gloves, as far as supplies go, gloves are an issue. They're very difficult to get right now. And we have tried different avenues of purchasing, so we're hoping that they come through. But it's not just us, it's all the hospitals and it's other states. So we kind of knew that possibly coming down the pike that there may be an issue, but the problem was you couldn't order extra because you only got your allotment from the suppliers. So gloves are the thing that are an issue right now. So
Is DEMA able to help?
Well, the state knows that the gloves are an issue. I do not know about any other releases from the Strategic National Stockpile. They haven't said anything like that. It has been pushed up the chain, and the FEMA region is aware of this, as well as other ones, but we haven't heard anything back. I do have my friend Joe Buck is going to attend the hospital preparedness meeting tomorrow by phone in my place because I'm having my gallbladder out tomorrow. So, so he's going to attend, and we may hear something there. But as of right now, today, we have not been told that there will be any more release of supplies.
Right.
I see that we've been put back on the quarantine list for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, I believe.
Right. We're in good company. So was Maryland. I see Dr. Tam has joined us. Maybe he would like to switch on his video and
Yeah,
we can
good.
get information from him, as well as Jane Thompson.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Dr. Marble. Hello, everybody.
You bring an
Hello.
update on the hospital. We've heard from Cheryl, and sounds like things are pretty good shape, except that there's not an overabundance of supplies.
Well, that is true. Cheryl's the expert on the supply issue. We have enough to continue doing what we're doing, of course. The question is, how much of a surplus do we need when or if we enter another surge phase in the pandemic? So I'm sure that Cheryl may have shared with you, but certainly I'd be happy to reiterate that currently the best numbers that we have for Sussex County is that we're stable from a positivity test rate. So in the number of people that are being tested, we're still at about 4.5% across the county. And certainly that's consistent here in the coastal towns. And that's good. That puts us in still in a phase 2 type approach. We're still in a yellow zone. If you look at the schools that the governor has set up, I'll talk about our partnership with Cape and Lopin School District in a minute. But as a result, the schools are still, at least Cape is opening up in a hybrid format where they do both remote as well as in-person education. Just FYI for you, before I go back to anything that you want to talk about, is that currently at the hospital, knock on wood, and part of me was actually quite superstitious about it, but I did mention it on a Facebook post on Saturday, and it got a lot of attention, which is the power of social media. We have had 0 COVID patients, COVID positive patients admitted for about 4 days. That's the first time since March 20th that when all this hit the fan, and I think that that could change tomorrow. We only have actually 1 patient that is what we call person under investigation right now, which is somebody who comes in with symptoms, but we haven't gotten a test result back. But overall, the hospital is in fairly good shape, which is why I think Cheryl, being the emergency management person, is always wondering what else we need to have to make sure that we're ready if there is a resurgence of the pandemic. But from our perspective right now, operationally, we certainly have enough PPE to run the hospital at where it should be and have a little bit extra. And that's the unknown factor.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
see that you're setting up flu vaccine clinics also. They'll start what, next week?
So yes, sir. Here's what we're doing. We're actually, it should be coming out to you all soon, but there is what we call a Vaccinate in 48 campaign. And it's not 1948, but it's here in here at BB, we're going to have all our employees have a maximum push effort to get vaccinated within 48 hours. And so we're doing a mass vaccination in various sites throughout the system, because we look kind of silly if we don't have good vaccination rates and we're asking everybody else in the county to do so. As you know, there is a concern about something called, and people I think calling the twindemic, where we have flu that hits, and then we also have a resurgence of COVID. That would be a disaster, to say the least. And so we're moving forward to actually having 48 sites, starting, like you said, Jim, probably in the latter half of September. I don't have the actual dates in front of me, but 48 sites throughout Sussex County that will be doing flu vaccinations. You can drive up, you can walk up to some, you can ride your bike to some, and we're going to be doing a large, social media and marketing campaign to get as many people vaccinated as possible.
Will the high dose vaccine be available at all of these places?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know if Cheryl knows, but I can certainly get that answer back to you and see, because I understand what you're saying, that some of them are for the senior population and some aren't, but I can find out. And if there is a need to clarify our information, we'll make sure and get it done.
Right.
Dr. Tam, this is Ted.
No,
Go ahead,
I don't
Cheryl.
know that answer to that question, Dr. Tim. I don't know the numbers of how many high dose we have.
Dr. Tam, it's great. That sounds like a great program, getting 48, everyone at 48 different sites. It's great news. Do you think you'll have the information so we could share it at the city council meeting on Monday night?
Let me check on that, and hold on for 1 second.
One at a time, and if those little pieces become too heavy, I have to be here. Okay, carry on.
So you saw me talking to my right, which means I asked the real boss, Gunnery Sergeant Lynn Wilkins, to get me the flyer that we have to make sure that we have that available.
Okay.
We've given it to our board members for, of course, just to make sure that they're good with it, and then make sure that I'll get it out to you, because you're right, Ted, we want to communicate this to every municipality. As you know, Rehoboth is having some kind of a COVID action strike team that have asked me to be part of. The commissioners have asked me to be part of, and we just want to get it out there that we need to maximize all of it. In fact, I know that our pharmacy just ordered more flu vaccine to make sure that we have enough to serve the community.
We'll certainly send it out. We'll certainly, if we have it available on the 14th, we'll put it out that evening, but we'll certainly send it out as a code red or a pass from the city.
I didn't see the governor yesterday, but is he as upset now as he was before about the quarantine from Delaware? Ted, did you notice, or have you heard?
I didn't attend his.
He was rather perturbed.
He's been perturbed all along, and I'm sure he's not happy about it. And I can tell you, people are reacting to it just by virtue of what I hear from hospitality properties. But we've been on and off of this list for several times. I think this is the third time we've been on this list.
So, Dr. Marvel, I just want to let you know that there is a flyer that I have, but it doesn't say whether it's a high dose, low dose. So I will make sure that our pharmacy helps clarify that. By the way, just so you know, at some of these sites, we're also doing our Narcan distribution, and some of these sites will also be for pediatric as well as adult patients. So I'll make sure that there's an extra information about our high dose for our senior population, and then make sure that it gets to Ted. With respect to the governor, I can tell you that yes, he is quite perturbed. It's one of the reasons why, from what I understand, is the concerns that many people have now about this. It's not a cause and effect, but this sort of a temporal relationship between schools opening up and colleges opening up, and everybody's afraid that then all hell will break loose, and who knows what it's from. So here at least at Cape and Lopen, been working with Bob Fulton, the superintendent. As you know, we've actually had two testing events partnering with the state that the state ran for the school. It's called the Know Before You Go campaign that we've been involved with. There will be another testing event over at Cape and Lopen High School this coming Saturday, which is primarily for students, because we want to make sure that all students have and parents know whether you're positive or not. And then not for public consumption yet, although I know it's out there, and I know this is a public hearing, is the fact that we're working with the school district on a potential plan for how we do surveillance testing. So not just once to know if you're positive, but once you start school, what's going on and how we test people, because there's a lot of kids. But I want to just commend Bob Fulton and the school board for working hard on getting this done and making sure that the schools are open in as safe a manner as possible. And we want to support that.
That's good to know. Yeah. And
Dr. Tam,
yes, ma'am. Hi, Nancy.
how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Doing well. I want to reiterate my concern and ask you to convey it to the school that they remember the larger community. It's not just the parents. Those of us who don't have kids in school need to know what's going on in the school as well. We don't need the private information, but we do need a sense so that we know what our own risk is and how to deal with it. And I would hope that the school would be as transparent as BB has been through this period, and that if you would encourage them to do that.
You know what? First, let me just say that I have full confidence. Bob Fulton and his team, Jenny Nauman, Ned Glenfelder, they've done an amazing job. And if you're speaking to somebody who served in a public setting for what? I was in the Navy for 24 years. And then after that, I worked for a public health district where it was a board of elected officials who were on the board. And so I understand the sensitivities, if I may, of how that information goes. And in some respects, because I don't have a publicly elected board, I have more freedom to be able to share information. So I will share that concern, convey that concern with you, Nancy, but please know that it's a partnership that we have with the school district to serve the community. And I'm fairly confident that we're in a good place in terms of making sure that we will have early warning indicators if something is going on, both at the school as well as the reflection of it on the community.
Thank you. I'm particularly concerned because the state of Delaware has said they don't have to. And I find that troubling.
Yep, and by the way, Nancy, that that in a former life I was a pediatrician, pediatric neurologist. I guess I still am, although I don't practice anymore except on TV. I will tell you that this is something that they've looked at very carefully and balancing out what is necessary to help support kids and students in their physical and emotional development, with, of course, making sure that they protect the community. And that's one of the reasons why Bob and his team have reached out to us to do everything. And I think if we do something like this, it's going to be something that's done that hasn't been done anywhere else in Delaware, if not, in other parts of the country.
Thank you.
scheduling must be a nightmare.
Scheduling of,
Hybrid program.
I'm sorry?
I said the scheduling must be a nightmare for that hybrid program.
I don't mind saying this.
Computers.
I don't mind saying it because, as Ted knows, I got a junior heading into to be a Viking, in a month or in a couple days. And it is kind of an interesting approach, but I once again will say that, Bob and his team have done an incredible job. They've done better than what anybody in California has done with respect to getting their kids into this program. So you should feel pretty good about the fact that they have really researched this and done the best they can. And once again, reached out to the health community to figure out how to make sure that everybody's safe.
That's good to hear. Very good to hear.
I think it's very commendable that the school district has done what they've done. I've had occasion to talk to some teachers, and they're finding it quite a challenge to offer the split hybrid variety, because, and several of them have told me that it's just a lot more work than what they're used to doing classroom construction or classroom instruction. So I commend all the faculty and staff at the school district as well. And so I think
Susan,
board got
Susan,
behind.
are you hearing any more from the community, such as you're reminding people to put their masks on?
I'm the wicked witch of Pilot Town Road. See, I tell them all. No, I mean, they're just not wearing their masks. I went out one morning at about 8:30 and I passed 35 people probably between Front Street and then up by Swanndale Museum. 2 people had a mask on. Only 2 out of that many.
Was that over the holiday
So
weekend,
I don't know what you do about it.
Yeah. Susan, was that over the holiday weekend or was it?
No, that was the week before.
Okay.
That was the week before.
Yeah, our ambassador program has done a good job of reminding people, but
Those women, they have done a wonderful job, that ambassador program. Yeah.
they really have. That program is pretty much finished now, but they still will be working for the 3 nights starting this Friday night of promoting people to come back downtown, and they will be working that time frame promoting wearing of masks. I saw better compliance over on the beach this weekend of people wearing masks. There's still an issue when people go to the restroom or something like that, but overall I did see some better compliance of that. But it's always going to be a challenge.
Well, so many of them don't think the rules apply to them. You know, it's like, I don't have to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Is there any more? The one thing I wanted to talk about was with this quarantine. Does that mean that we're reciprocating with these people from the other states?
No.
We're not.
No.
But then what? New Jersey, New York, Connecticut?
Yes.
Are requesting quarantine when people from Delaware.
Correct. Or if someone from those states comes here, then in theory, when they go home, they're supposed to quarantine if they've been out in Delaware or Maryland actually as well.
Okay.
My experience has been, because I've had a chance to travel into New Jersey during one of the quarantine periods, it's not being enforced very well, and I'm not sure how they're intending to enforce it. I know early on there was talk about them having people at airports and train stations in Manhattan and other places, but I'm not sure how they're going to be able to enforce it.
Do we need to have another meeting?
I had another issue that I'd like to raise.
Yeah.
The weather people are talking about all of the potential storms this season. Are we taking into account COVID as the emergency preparedness people look at the possibility they might come up the East Coast?
I did talk to Joe Thomas about that, and he said that they were taking that into consideration, but he didn't offer much detail. So
some of the questions from the Gulf Coast of shelters and other things, it's probably a good idea to at least do a little planning in advance and not have to do it at the last minute.
Yeah.
I think that at the mitigation planning team meeting, Joe mentioned that they're looking more for hotels as emergency shelters rather than places where people are going to be together. The problem is that most of the hotels are along Route 1, which is pretty close to the coast.
Yeah, and Marie, he did say that, I remember. And at the hospital, we have talked about that. We have some things in place if the disaster should come along or the storm should come, we're prepared for a couple different things that we've already talked about. So on our front, yeah, we've already talked about that and have some things in place.
I think that, Ted, I think we should mention that I can no longer be chairman of this committee because I am not a practicing physician. The Lewis Charter calls that the chairman should be a practicing physician. I've been retired now for 4 years, so I'm not actively practicing.
Right. And Dr. Marble, thank you for mentioning that. I was going to do that as we got to the end of the meeting. I want to thank you for all your service. And obviously the Board of Health has not had a lot of reasons to meet in the past few years.
Right.
And obviously the pandemic has brought us to regular meetings, which is really changed the whole operation of this committee. And I do thank you, and I know the City Council joins me in thanking you for your service. But we hope and we expect that you'll stay on this committee. And we have asked, in conjunction with Dr. Tam and Cheryl Hopple, we've approached Dr. Cowan, who is the director of EMS services at the hospital, or the ED at the hospital, to come on board, and we will be making an appointment of him at our meeting, at the City Council meeting on Monday night, the 14th, to join this committee. So,
Are there any other matters to come before the board at this time? Then shall we set the next meeting, or is that not appropriate for us to do?
oh, I think we should go ahead and set the next meeting. We'll coordinate with Dr. Cowan's schedule to make sure that it works for him. But let's look about, we've been meeting on a 3-week schedule. So it looks to me like we probably should be meeting around the
30th of September.
30th of September, exactly where I was going. Does that suit everyone's schedule? Dr.
Fine.
Dan, you
That's
still
me.
have Lynn with you? Does that work for your schedule?
Dr. Tam, we thank you for your attendance at our meeting today and at all our meetings. And Cheryl, we're so glad to see your seatbelt fastened.
And good luck tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm looking forward. Nobody looks forward to surgery, but this pesky gallbladder of mine finally is coming out. So I'm glad for that anyway.
Well,
good luck with that.
speedy recovery. Yeah.
Good luck, Cheryl.
All righty. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we'll send out a note confirming after we confirm with Dr. Cowan that the 30th of September at 1 o'clock, if that works for everybody. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you
everybody.
very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for understanding.